I'm Shane Ramey. You're listening to That Sober Guy podcast. And this week, I'm proving that dry January is the only month that we admit alcohol might be a problem. Interesting topic. Every January, America wakes up hungover. We wake up bloated, anxious, and spiritually confused. Suddenly, we all agree, might be time to take a break. Alcohol might be an issue. Not a big issue, just a January issue. Because apparently, alcohol is only a problem when it interrupts your potential New Year's resolutions. Totally fine, though, contrary to that, if it interrupts your sleep, your mood, your marriage, your bank account, other mental health issues, anxiety. It's cool for the other 11 months. Actually, we'll give it 20 months, we'll give it 10 other months because we got sober October too. I forgot about that. So 10 out of the 12 months, it's totally cool. But dry January, potentially sober October, we're doing it. And it's really interesting because it's the only time, I was thinking about this, dry January, and then the caveat of sober October. We're going to focus on dry January here for this episode. It's the only time we legitimately tell the truth about alcohol as a culture, as a full open discussion. We'll put it that way, briefly. And then immediately we renegotiate the deal come February 1st. We don't say, you know what? Wow, I feel better. I feel really, really good. Instead, February 1st goes around. We go, oh, it's dry January. It's done, man. I deserve a drink. Let's go. Let's celebrate. I mean, imagine if we treated cigarettes like this, or cigarettes are a great example. I'm doing no cig January. But I'll tell you what, Marlboro February's locked in. Winston February. I used to like the Parliament February. You could put a little Coke in the top tip of the gnarly Parleys. Ever did that? Woo! I don't miss those days. But dry January isn't sobriety. It's not. It's an apology tour. It's an apology tour. And I'm not angry at this. So just want to point that out. I'm a bit amused, a bit I don't understand, I guess, too. So I thought this would be an interesting topic as we start to wrap up January here. But these are some of the uncomfortable conversations and thoughts that go through my head that could be uncomfortable. They're not uncomfortable for me, but they could be uncomfortable for somebody who's checking out. And I don't want to deter anyone. If you want to start with dry January, absolutely do it. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on it or I don't like. I mean, we got to start somewhere. I'm just pointing out some of the irregularities about this specific topic or month, or the way that we look through the lens of a thing like dry January. And so here's what I first thought. If alcohol were truly harmless, and we put out just a few days ago a podcast called Don't Drink for Breakfast. And it was based on the recent comments by Dr. Oz when they were going over the food pyramid, and he made some comments that were related to alcohol. And there was kind of some back and forth in there, and he danced around it well, which I talked about in this previous podcast. But if alcohol were truly, and I mean truly harmless in all ways, we wouldn't need a national dry January month or a sober October month if it were really harmless. And alcohol is one of the top preventable causes of death throughout the entire globe. Think about that for a minute. One of the top preventable. I believe it kills more people or is related to the deaths of more people than all drugs combined. And if you think about it for a minute, even moderate drinking, and we talked about that last week too, and we'll jump into that a little bit today, but the drink responsibly, or moderation, that's what Dr. Oz was talking about, moderation. Even moderate drinking is now linked to things like increased cancer risk, sleep disruption, which is absolutely a huge one as we continue to age and you realize how important sleep is. It's also linked to anxiety and depression. And studies consistently show improve. So without alcohol, there's a improved sleep within 7 to 10 days. As you kind of flush that out of your system, within 7 to 10 days, you're going to see improved sleep, which is huge. Within 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to see reduced anxiety. So I'm not saying, oh my God, you stop drinking, it all goes away. No, we still got to deal with life. And that's what's interesting about this is when we look at alcohol, we're not all necessarily broken, and we don't, everyone's situation is different, but we're numb. We're numbed out to that anxiety. We're numbed out to that joy. We're numbed out to that stress. And who wants to feel stress? I get it. But we're human beings. We have to feel. And when we feel, we can heal, and we can grow, and we can be authentic in our own. So reduced anxiety within 2 to 3 weeks. And for some, that's huge. Can I just get a little bit of relief here? I just need a little relief from this anxiety, man. I'm going crazy here. Let's drink about it. The anxiety goes away for a short period, a night, couple hours, and then it compounds the next day. And that's that performance tax that we've talked about many times that alcohol brings. So reduced anxiety within 2 to 3 weeks of stopping, and then better focus and energy within 30 days. You cut alcohol out for 30 days. Watch how much your performance, your focus, your ability to be present, your ability to have energy, get it within 30 days. So some really great benefits. Nobody finishes dry January saying, you know what, I feel worse. You know what, I just feel terrible. I never should have cut that alcohol out for January. My sleep is improved, which sucks. I have quite a bit more energy. I'm not sitting around and daydreaming all day about what I should be doing. My relationships are a bit better. That sucks. I'm feeling not terrible the next morning. I really love feeling like dog shit. Like, hey, dry January, not worth it. Not worth it at all. Nobody says that. Nobody says I feel worse. They're going to see improvements. So don't confuse it. Not saying dry January is a bad thing, just pointing out some of the anomalies here and the interesting takes upon it from a culture perspective. Your body gets it. The physical, the mental, it's not confused. I think what's confused here is the culture behind the drinking culture itself. And, I don't know, maybe some people are scared by feeling better. They don't want to find the authentic self. I think that I could relate to that a little bit. You start hiding out for so long, you're scared of your own shadow. I'm scared of my own shadow. Sal Rosenberg. I'll bring all my shoes and my glasses so I have them. Everybody watched Jerky Boys back in the day? Man, grew up on that. But he was scared of his own shadow. And I think people can sometimes be scared. They can be scared to feel well. They can be scared of success. They can be scared to improve. What is everyone going to think? What am I going to think? How am I going to do that? And it's almost like with dry January, clarity, it's treated like this kind of temporary experiment almost. Let's try it out. And like I said, try it out by all means. I don't want to sound like I don't think there are some benefits. There are. Absolutely. It's a start. But the cultural absurdity to it sometimes just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like dry January exists so we can just do that, try it out. But we don't necessarily have to change anything permanently. And I want you to think about this. Alcohol is the only substance where taking a break is celebrated. Could you imagine if someone said, hey, I took a break from crack. Took a break from that crack stuff. Great job, man. Yeah, hey, you know what? Do your thing for 30 days on the crack. Take a little break. And if you're feeling better and you prove to yourself that you're not a crack addict, then you know what? On February 1st, go hit some crack. Hit some crack. You know what? Congratulations. Congratulations on that break. But do you see, like, if somebody said that, you go, that's absolutely ridiculous. But continuing afterwards for alcohol for some reason is normalized. It's normal. Hey, I took a break. I proved to myself, hey, don't have an issue with it. I can take a break anytime. Let's go. It's almost like a personality. Like like people get excited to announce it to everybody. Oh, I'm doing dry. You know what? I'm doing dry January. Yeah. Congratulations. I know I sound like a total asshole right now. That's not my intention. It really isn't. We got to, like, if we're going to try dry why are we going to go back? Folks, why are we going to go backwards? Stay on the track, because nobody ever said my habitual drinking habits have really improved my life. I've never met anybody who said, man, you know what? I mentioned this last week, but I'll mention it again. You know what? I am an amazing father because of my drinking habits. You know what? My marriage is so solid because, hey, we drink together all the time. The long term, not going to work. Not going to work. And you hear, I saw it on X, as I'm scrolling through there in the last couple of days and thinking about this specific topic, saw a couple people on there talking about dry January, and man, dude, this sucks. I can't wait for February 1st. Counting down the days. Oh man, this dry January, this is brutal. It's brutal getting good sleep. It's brutal not poisoning your body. It's brutal to be conscious and awake and present. That's brutal. I just don't get it. And it's not a personal issue. I want to be clear. I honestly believe that most people actually don't want to partake in that, but the cultural normalcy bias that has been created in order to keep these industries afloat, because they are big money industries, keeping us numb. That is big money. Big money. It's more of a cleanse. It's not a commitment. It's a cleanse. I'm going to stop for 30 days. And hey, 31. How many days are in January? 31 days, I think. I'm going to stop for January. Whatever. 30 days roughly. But the social pressure, even when we step back from that and you commit to the 30 days, say I'm doing dry January, there's some, I'm going to give it my best shot. There's social pressure in that. Friends maybe questioning, what are you doing? And then you got to explain yourself, and you sound like you're trying to give yourself a medal and a ribbon because you're not going to poison your body for 30 days. I'm just trying it out. And then they ask, why are you doing it? And I will say this. See, I like this angle of it too. This isn't all bad. It's not all bad. It's not all bad, but there are some interesting points to this discussion. One of the things I like, somebody does dry January and their friends find out about it, or a friend or a family member, and they go, well, what are you doing? And why are you doing that? And it's an opportunity potentially to say, I don't know, but I'm taking a break. I want to see what it's like. And maybe that communicates to somebody else, someone that you care about well, and it sparks a seed in them. So there are good things to this. There are good. It's not all bad, but some of the ideas behind let's stop for 30 days and then let's just go back in and let's, kind of white knuckle it through, and just to prove that we can do it because it's trendy. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let's just make a commitment and let's all just agree that there's not really any long-term benefits to consuming alcoholic beverages. And I really think that sometimes what it is, just like I was mentioning, we're afraid to grow, we're afraid to succeed in some ways. I think people aren't necessarily afraid of quitting drinking. I think that a lot of people, a large percentage of people probably know, even if it's deep down, that it's not serving them well. I think that more people are afraid of finding out who they are, meeting that authentic self, meeting themselves in a sober mind, figuring out the things about us as human beings that help us to operate on the day to day. I think people are scared of that. And I think naturally, I think it's a natural thing. I'm not shaming anybody because they're scared. Like you shouldn't be scared. Like that's not what I'm saying. I get it. Life is tough. Fear is real. But I can tell you that finding the true self without having to numb out with alcohol on a normal basis and being able to socialize and being able to do all the things, all the events, all the things we talk about in here all the time, the day-to-day, the networking, the business, the events, the social parties, the sports events, concerts, whatever it is that you're into, Top Golf, going to play regular golf, doing that with a sober mind and being able to experience the authentic self and find genuine joy in that and have great present conversations, maybe less conversations because we talked about how it kind of shrinks some of the social circles once you do get sober, but you get quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. If you think about it, this being afraid of meeting them, someone being a little bit afraid of finding out who they are, what they like, the alcohol helps with that. It helps to mask the stress. It helps to mask the anxiety. It helps to mask maybe loneliness. It helps to mask past stuff or just general confusion. Dry January removes that mask. So I'll give it that. But it's temporary once again. And it's a great start. So it's an okay start. Don't get me wrong. But if you go back right in February, you put that mask right back on. And I don't think that is it's not a great approach. Why go back? I don't think people necessarily miss the alcohol. I think they miss the rituals. I think they miss the routines. I think they miss being able to just numb out and escape, put the mute button on. And I think that's okay. I get it. It's real. I get it. So changing those routines, changing those rituals, even for 30 days in January, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And then you start thinking, I'm sober. I'm in silence. Like, what comes up for you when the noise stops, the chaos stops? Have you ever just sat silent, didn't do anything, close your eyes, listen to the birds? We have ducks and geese in our backyard. Listen to those guys. I mean, I guess technically that's not silence, but I mean silence in the fact of no headphones, no screens, no people, just you and a chair or some floor or the ground or some grass, just sitting. Why does that feel threatening? We're so conditioned for chaos and busy. I got to be busy. I got to go. I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I'm not questioning that. I'm right there with you and everybody else. We're in this together, damn it. But the silence feels threatening sometimes. So why does this keep happening? What is going on? And I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons. Here's a couple of them. And here's probably the biggest ones. Alcohol survives because it's profitable. It's profitable. That's declining. And I got another podcast coming up on that will come out in just a couple of days after this, where we're going to talk about some of these companies going bankrupt, actually. And they're having to sell off or destroy their inventory because profits are down. It's still profitable. I mean, we're talking astronomical numbers still, but compared to what it was, it's on the decline, which is interesting. Americans, Gen Z, Gen X, I always get confused on which one. One of them, they're changing their drinking habits. It's also expensive. People are broke right now. You know, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people living check to check. A lot of people trying to make it, just pay their general bills and buy groceries. They don't have the money to put into alcohol and to drink. Not like we used to back in the day. My phone's going off there. Now, you could drink the 211 Steel Reserve. Maybe that's a little cheaper. The malt liquor. Used to drink that. Some Mickey's. Little St. Ides. Hey, maybe you're going budget. Maybe you're going the champagne of beers, the Miller High Life. Don't do it. Just don't. Save the $1.99. I don't even know how much a 40 of St. Ides or Old E or any of that malt liquor would be. 211 used to be a couple bucks. But even people don't want to spend that. People don't want to spend that. We're changing habits. So it's profitable, it's social, and it's very familiar. There's that normalcy bias again. The culture has created that it's regular. We talked about brunch culture in last episode. Bro, I'm going to have brunch. Completely acceptable to drink in the morning for breakfast. Who created that? Where did that come from? It got to be familiar. It got to be a status thing. We're going to go to brunch. Just doing brunch. We're going to drink a little bit. Have a couple of drinks with our eggs Benedict. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. In wellness culture, we see a lot of these wellness events, retreats, conferences, blah, blah, blah. I've said that twice in the last week, blah, blah, blah. It's like something from the 80s. I think I heard my parents saying, blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck. But wellness culture, they avoid alcohol. I shouldn't say they, but there are elements of it that do these retreats and do these things, and then they go drink afterwards. We talked about that at the Podfest Expo Amplify Sober Voices conference a little bit over dinner. And they avoid the alcohol talk, number one, because it's uncomfortable. People don't know how to discuss it sometimes because there's a big stigma around it, that normalcy. And it disrupts the social norms at that too. You don't want to be the guy. If you're in a room or an area full of people that are drinking, it's tough to be the one, especially if you haven't done it for a while, that say, yeah, I'm not drinking. It disrupts that social environment. Throw a wrench in there, make you feel a little weird. You think everyone's looking at you. I don't know what to do with my hands. It also threatens revenue. Think about events. A lot of events that are held, whether they're wellness or other things, alcohol is one of their main sources of income. That's how they make their money on the events. And then the moderation part of that is very vague on purpose. What is moderation? Define moderate. Define moderate. Go ahead, I'll wait. I don't know. Moderation maybe means whatever I'm doing already. I'm a moderate drinker. I only drink after 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I tie one on for brunch on Sunday or Saturday. And then I let her rip for Saturday night. That's moderate to me. I mean, everyone's definition of moderate could be different. That's what I'm getting at. So maybe the mask is hiding I don't have a problem. I just do dry January instead. And I think that's something to take a look at. And no, it doesn't mean everybody has a problem. Maybe a better way to frame that up is I don't really think alcohol is serving me that well, or my family, my relationships, my business, my energy, my sleep, all the things. So I just do dry January. I just take a break, and then I'm going to jump back and screw all that up again. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Most people with clarity who are already clear, they don't need a scheduled break. And if something improves your life when it's removed, like that's awesome. It's a great place to start. Great place to start. You become aware, you become clear, able to operate at a high level. So I don't know. Maybe this is about quitting forever. Maybe it's not. That's for anyone and everyone in your own situation to figure out. But I think a better point and a better way to frame that up is this is about looking at the truth for longer than just, January, 31 days. There's more to it than that. And it works. So why, it's good because being sober, a sober mind, it works too. And you see that if you do a dry January, a sober October, you just go 30 days in the middle of August or something. Feeling better is not an accident when you feel that. And wanting to go back, that's not proof that alcohol is serving you right and that it's good. It's proof. It's more proof that avoidance and wanting to escape is familiar. It's back to that routine, that ritual. So you don't necessarily need a month. You need to be honest with yourself. I think that's a great place to start. If you're thinking about checking out for dry January and trying it out, or sober October, you're just going to pick a random month and go, you know what, I'm going to go 30 days. I think that's a great start. So I know I'm poking a little fun at this at the same time, because I do think there's some interesting parts to this, but I think it's a great start. And you don't need a whole month. You just need honesty, and you need some consciousness in that, and really evaluate how alcohol is affecting your life. Do a pro and con list. The old classic pro and con, 2 columns. Put them in there. Is it serving you well here? And how is it not serving you well? And take a look at that. It doesn't have to stop on February 1st. But the denial factor for a lot of us, including myself early on. So, I had a lot of denial, man. I did not want to look at it. And I kind of knew it was there. But I knew that my habits were not at all helping me perform at a better level that I was capable of. And my connections, my relationships, my connections spiritually, which is huge. So watch out for that. Dry January, the 1 month we admit alcohol is not good. And then maybe we resume pretending it's fine for the rest of the year. I don't know. But I think it's something to take a look at. Something to take a look at. Now, I appreciate you guys tuning in today. If you're looking for more resources, you can go to thatsoberguy.com. Some coaching there, some other programs there. We also have our free men's community, the Victory Circle, where you can sign up for free. You can join. It's online. It's a great group. Tons of dudes in there from all over. Shout out to the Victory Circle, man. But love to have you join in there, sharing tips. We're encouraging each other. All kinds of good stuff in there. So you can check that out as well at thatsoberguy.com. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. Leave us a review if you can. That helps rank the show. Appreciate that. And if you enjoyed the episode today, I hope you got something out of it. Don't forget to share it with a friend. Take care. God bless. Keep your blood clean.